expressed on this program are not necessarily those of WTJX, its board, staff, or underwriters.
Good day. You are listening to Ability Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Amelia Headley-Lamont of the Disability Rights Center of the Virgin Islands. And today I am joined by an educator of great experience, and we're going to hear a lot about her story. Her name is Diane Collingwood. Good day. How are you?
Good day. Good morning. How are you, Headley?
I'm hanging in there.
Yes.
Well, I saw you at a meeting at the University of the Virgin Islands Agricultural Extension, having to do with the vetiver grass, which will be another topic.
Yes.
But you introduced yourself as a leader among young people, which I was intrigued by. I know that you are an educator. So first of all, just for the audience benefit, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Diana Collingwood. First and foremost, I'm a mother of 5, a long-standing educator. Started out at Arthur Richards here in St. Croix. That's one of my proud moments as an agriculture teacher in the early 80s. And just enjoy that. Graduated from the University of the Virgin Islands. Actually, I get to boast that I'm the first female to graduate with an associate's degree in agriculture from the University of the Virgin Islands, then the College of the Virgin Islands. And my dream all my career, once I pursued agriculture, was for that program to be revamped and offered again to the community because it was of such great value to me. It laid a great foundation for my further studies at the University of Florida, and I majored in ag education and communication and just a lot of educational areas like graduate minors in counseling and special education, which is like one of my favorite topics simply because we are all special. Somewhere, each one of us is on that spectrum, whether we are at a higher level functioning or a lower level functioning, but we still have skills. Even if we are supposedly on the lower spectrum, we have skills that reach to the higher realms. So each one of us has value. And the new terminology, differently abled, I think that best captures this concept of special people with special needs because we are all differently abled.
So what made you interested in the whole field of agriculture? What brought you to that realm?
You know, initially I was a dancer. You know, I danced with the Caribbean Dance Company, one of the early founding members. And that was my passion, you know, had scholarship offers to study dance. And then, like, my elder brother was into agriculture. And even people like Dr. Peterson, current, and Olasi Davis, all those individuals were into agriculture. And I was inspired. I said, when things get hard in the world, nobody wants to come see me dance. Really. You know,
they want to eat.
They want to eat, and you can feed them. And I learned that agriculture is part of you. And it's such a high level experience in terms of it exercises all your skill sets, you know, all the academics, all your personal skills. And it kind of makes you in tune to yourself, you know, make you understand your role in this whole creation. So it's like God's work. And it's inspiring and it's so varied, you know. One day you might be welding, you might be doing irrigation, you might be writing a research paper, you might be in a lab doing tissue culture research, you know, you can be doing genetics, you can be doing food science technology, you can be doing art to do the packaging, you can be creating boxes. I mean, it's just so exciting. And it's a way, when you teach agriculture, you could turn on students, you know. It's relatable to every student. And with the special needs student, the specially able student, they find a space in the agri-sciences where they can excel.
Well, you know, we've had conversations about this before where we as a territory import a lot of food. I forgot what the statistics were, but it is shockingly high.
It's over 95, 96%.
Right.
It was 97, 98.
Right. So, I mean, these are the kinds of conversations we need to be having. These are the kinds of projects we need to undertake. I know, for example, that you are a leader of what's called the VI Women's Agricultural Association, which is a nonprofit 501c3, is my understanding.
Yes.
Tell us about that organization. What do you see as your mission in that organization?
Okay. For agriculture to be successful, especially here in the territory where we always talk about the need to increase food security, our farmers are currently aging out. They are currently, nationally, there's so much funding available to support underserved populations in growing and developing agriculture. I know with grants and funding, it's not just money you're given and it's done.
Right.
There are a lot of steps and procedures and rules and regulations. And for agriculture, for me, it's worth it because usually governments do not fund agriculture at the level required to meet the demand for food. And here in the territory, it seems to be more evident of that to me. Because we don't get to maximize the use of federal funds, which is actually assigned for agriculture development. So unless we could use local government funds or private funds, the only other avenue to do agriculture development is to utilize federal funds. So as an agriculturist, that's one of the things in my 45-year career. My whole team, and it's not just me, agriculture is not an individual sport, it's a team sport. Locally, regionally, nationally, globally. And that's how you have to think. It's not like, people like to minimize agriculture. I say they always curse agriculture with their mouth full of food. It's essential to each breathing human being. It's the most essential thing, food. And somehow, because we take it for granted that it will always be in the stores and we'll always have money to go buy the food, regardless of the quality, of course, buy the food, we take it for granted that we don't need to support and engage and grow a new generation of young people who know how to grow food.
So this organization that you've founded, the focus is to apply for grants so that you can train young people? Tell me about what's the link? That's
part of it. It's everything at the same time.
Okay.
It's really empowering and educating our women and men, because the women especially have access to the children, the young people, the influence. And if we educate women and then we influence the young people and educate them, then we have more citizens to support agriculture funding and put pressure on legislation or to the programs that we do develop. We can keep them sustainable. So we are growing an educated group of young people who have an interest and desire and understanding of the value of agriculture and of the many lucrative jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities that do exist.
Yeah, tell us about that, because I think we're not aware of what's possible in the area of agriculture.
Yeah, just consider food, okay? Value-added products. Anything you take, I was born in Trinidad in the Caribbean, but I spent most of my childhood here. I grew up in the VI, so my heart is VI, but that's a passionate piece,
Sure.
But the point is that they always say that you can take flour and make money, You take a bag of flour and you can do all type of things with that flour, with a little plant from a tree, anything, and you can make money. So it's looking at the resources around you. Here in the territory, we are rich with resources. People who come here, it's because we have so much that we take for granted. So for me, it's agriculture, and what we're trying to do is to teach people that everything we need to succeed is within us and around us. And we have such potential for excellence. I always say, I still think I can fly, but I haven't figured it out as yet.
Okay.
And I'm not going to fly. I always say, I won't fly up. I won't fly down. I would fly up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the point is that we have to realize our potential, learn how to utilize the many resources around us. We always want more and more and more, and we never maximize the use of what we have. And for us to sustain or even to think about food security, we have to sustain our environment.
Right.
And I know we always say water is the issue. We have lots of water. The issue is us containing and capturing and keeping the water that we do get for our use.
Right.
And that takes some diligence and work.
Right.
So those are some of the efforts. One of the efforts I'm doing right now is through the Working Land Climate Corps, where we have a group of young people who we are engaging, and they're working to become certified conservation planners with the USDA NRCS. It's a grant program in collaboration with the Vermont, White River, and Bennington County conservation districts.
Okay, now that's a mouthful. Let's back up a little bit. A conservation corps. So you're working with young people.
Yes.
To do what specifically?
Okay. We are training them
Mm-hmm.
to understand the workings of the USDA Natural Resource Conservation Service, who
Okay.
is the funder of this initiative.
USDA standing for United
US
States Department of Agriculture. Okay.
The Natural Resource Conservation District,
Mm-hmm.
that's the funding source for farmers
Okay.
to utilize with a grant or just support to do agriculture
Mhm.
and to improve their production practices.
Okay.
The challenges here is that it's the paperwork. It's the steps, the million steps,
Right.
to go through to secure the funding. It's very discouraging for farmers.
Right.
Our farmers don't have time and energy and to be doing it the wrong way, and then they've been discouraged so many times. And many of them would tell me, "I divorced the NRCS. They're done because they tried." But
Mhm.
we are teaching a new generation how to go through all that bureaucracy, understand the steps, so that farmers, and partnering them with farmers, so that they can assist farmers in accessing those resources.
That's a really important
That's a long-term
step.
plan.
Yeah, because you're right. Paperwork, bureaucracy, reporting.
Oh.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
exactly what the federal government requires
Exactly.
in order for us to continue getting funds.
Right.
So, with agriculture, you do what you need to do by any means necessary.
Mhm.
For me, agriculture is like a revolutionary thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like me being Rastafari.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a struggle all my life to prove that excellence is just excellence.
Right.
You can't discriminate against it. You
Right.
just have to, and we all have the capacity to be excellent in whatever we do.
Right.
Even if you're sweeping that floor, let it be clean every time.
Right. Right.
And nothing is wrong. The job you do doesn't define who you are. We need every skill level. We need everyone on the team.
Absolutely. Well, again, we are experiencing a real exodus of young people who
Yes.
feel like they don't have an opportunity
Yes.
to work here at home.
Yes, and they want that opportunity.
And they want that
Yes, they do.
opportunity. So what are give us some ideas, because you mentioned being an entrepreneur, having your own business. What are some things that young people can do that can sustain them to come back?
I think with young people first, they have to understand how business works.
Yeah.
How it works. So we have to get in, regardless of their technical skill set. I think everything should be peppered with entrepreneurial skills. Okay. Then we have to, the soft skills. I'm big on soft skills.
Tell me what's somebody used that term with me, soft skills. What does that mean? So yeah, go ahead. Please
Because
explain
the concept is that, you are really skilled in your job. You're the excellent surgeon. You can do whatever technical skill you have down pat.
Right.
But you see the concept of resilience, the confidence, the capacity to listen and to be humble and allow other ideas to take form, to work in a team, to know that regardless of what you face, you are able to come back and you have that resilient attitude and perception,
to listen, to negotiate.
To negotiate, which is critical because it said you don't always get what you deserve.
Right.
Sometimes
Or
you get
want.
what you want.
Yeah.
You get what you're able to negotiate.
Right.
And teaching young people that things don't just happen.
Right.
Things go wrong. Things do go wrong. And I say, feces happen.
Mm-hmm.
Have your toilet paper ready.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know things can go wrong,
Mm-hmm.
you're in that problem-solving mindset, knowing that there's always a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of sitting and crying, they say crying over spilt milk,
Mm-hmm.
crying, because something went wrong, capture that energy and utilize it to regroup and come again and resolve the issue. And I think that's life and learning. Knowledge comes from anywhere and everywhere.
Right. Even failing.
Yes. And failing is part of learning.
So, okay, let's say I'm 20 years old.
Yes.
And I want to come back home. I did my studies. I've finished college.
What's your degree?
Okay, let's do something totally unrelated to agriculture.
Yes, that's fine.
Let's say I have a degree in business.
Because it's all related. Go
Right.
ahead to agriculture.
Right.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm back and right now I'm living with mom and dad and I'd
Uh-huh.
rather get my own place.
Yeah. Right.
And I need to figure out what to do for
Mhm.
myself
Okay.
because I'd rather be independent.
Okay.
I don't want to work for the
Mhm.
government.
Mhm. Yes.
Maybe a nonprofit.
Yes.
I'm kind of biased that way.
Right.
But nonprofit doesn't pay a heck of a lot either.
Unless you can do grants and you have work and you have initiatives to do
Mm-hmm.
and have funding to do it.
Okay.
And that's how you can do. You can only do anything that's funded.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a challenge sometimes.
To
you want to
apply.
have a lot of bake sales.
Right. Bake sales or
some new fundraising and things like that.
Right. So, okay, what are some things then that's possible for somebody in a situation like that?
Okay, I would think that currently one thing I'm excited about is the RFSI grant that's out there.
Okay, RFSI is
Resilient Food Systems Infrastructure Grant.
Okay.
And it's a USDA American Marketing Service grant that provides funding. It's $500,000 for infrastructure grant. And I believe we had a round already that went.
Mm-hmm.
So those grants are captured.
Okay.
And then there was $1 million in equipment-only grants that run from $10,000 to $100,000.
Okay.
And that was $1 million. We had some applications for that we are currently reviewing through Community Foundation. I'm currently contracting with Community Foundation
now
through
that's
my LLC.
The Community Foundation
of the
one
Virgin Islands
in
on
St. Thomas.
Based
Okay.
on St. Thomas.
Okay.
But they do work throughout the territory.
Okay.
So contracting with them currently through my LLC, Peace International,
Mm-hmm.
People's Environmental and Agricultural Consultant Enterprising.
Okay. This is another organization.
International USVI, yeah, that's my LLC.
Okay.
So I'm contracting with them on that grant and coordinating the grant. And I know that we'll have a second round soon. And that's exciting because it allows for an individual to purchase equipment. It could be a farmer, it could be an individual, it could be a nonprofit, it can be a business.
Mm-hmm.
And equipment to add value to any local product to extend its life on the shelf before retail.
Mm-hmm.
So sugar
that's
apple. No, that's a hard one, but still sugar apple. If you have a creative way to extend the life of sugar apple, if you want to create some type of guava berry jelly or jam that is packaged, if you do wines, but it has to be after harvest of the product. And each piece of equipment must be over $5,000 or more, simply because it's more of a commercial scale,
okay,
as opposed to the regular kitchen scale.
So let's go back to this 20-year-old who lives with mom and dad, who has a BA in, what did we say?
Tell her to come see me.
Tell her to come.
Only because you have to sit down and find out what's in her.
Yeah.
How much guts she has. Is she willing to take the steps?
Right.
Sometimes young people think, some young people, I'm a mother, so I know. And I've taught students, I have mentees, they expect great things.
Fast.
Yeah, quickly. And they don't understand it's one brick at a time. And they don't necessarily know they have to do short-term and long-term goals and do a trajectory of where they want to go and the steps they need to get there and what skills they have, what other skills they may be missing. They may be lacking some soft skills. They might, every time an adult tells them something they don't like to hear, they may have an attitude, they may not have enough tact in community. You might cuss somebody out and think that's cool.
Right.
Or, certain things, and you have to be diplomatic. And it's just things. And sometimes they haven't heard that.
Right.
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 And they don't know. And people do what they know.
Right.
And there are steps to do things for success.
Right.
And that takes training.
That does.
And that's been my whole career, is working to provide career advancement, training and planning for young people and adults.
Well, how would these young people get in touch with you?
I'm scared. Because they do. I see them. I engage with young people when I see them, and they have access because I provide that. Right now, I don't have a team. I can only do so much, and I have a lot going on. Especially with my work farm force. We've been going out every Thursdays and Fridays and doing 3 hours of engagement with different agricultural entities, and other people can reach out to me if they want to have the team come and do a project with them. But it's not just labor. We call it farm force. It's not just labor. It's an opportunity for young people to go out and work with farmers or environmentalists or just project workers to learn skills while providing assistance. But it's not just labor. You're not just bringing 40, 50 young people out there to pull weeds.
Right.
But if they can learn and do propagation or set up an irrigation system or learn about contouring or, learn about the environmental or the plants or the value of things while they assist.
Right.
We do that.
So the Farm Force is a group of young people with whom you work who,
Yes.
as a group, go out and learn certain things. Like you say, they're not just going out to pull weeds. They're learning more about the nuances of
agriculture and conservation, because the whole trend in the future of agriculture is land regeneration, soil regeneration, and actually rehealing the soil so that we can actually grow food. Because the concept is that for hundreds of years, the way we did agriculture with all the chemicals, the fertilizing, the monocropping, that destroyed the soil, are we not necessarily going to get more land for, in the VI, we have, people don't understand how fortunate we are in the VI to have access to that rich virgin soil. We have a lot of land available for farmers to lease, to grow food. In other areas, most of the ag land is really depleted from poor agricultural practices.
Right.
And
you say monoculture. I mean, sugar, I understood, was depleting the soil.
It was. And I think since it's been so long, a lot of that land was laid fallow for a long time. So there was opportunity to build up all this organic matter. But then we have to look at other environmental diseases or factors like, or refinery issues with our waste management, or there's a lot of things like that, soil and the thing about it, right? We no longer could afford to point fingers at different agencies, because we all have a stake in this, and we have. Mario Moorhead always says we got to do this thing together. One cocoa fills the basket. That's real, and we have to teach our young people that they have a role to play, and we have to give them a place at the table and prepare them with the skills for success.
Okay,
and take charge.
Let's go back to the question you did not answer. How does somebody get in touch with your work? Is it online? Is it, I'm
yes.
We're going to talk about that.
Yes, I can be reached. My email address is the Virgin Islands Women in Agriculture Association. The acronym is VIWIAA success@gmail.com.
Okay, repeat that. VIWIAA,
Virgin Islands Women in Agriculture Association.
Okay.
Success
at
gmail.com.
Okay.
That might change soon because we just got our 501(c)(3) status with the IRS, so we qualify for a .org.
That's correct.
Yeah, and I haven't quite gotten there yet.
Okay.
But that's coming soon.
Okay.
So there are some things I'm laying down so the organization could be sustainable. And again, working next, we had a board meeting, we have our board, and working on membership drives next. And sorry to say, each member would have to have a soft skills training course.
Right.
So that we can discuss, because that has always been the downfall of organization.
Right.
Is the lack of building, somebody hating, just this is a script, this is what we're signing up for, this is the direction we're going in.
This is our mission.
Yeah, this is the mission.
We need to go.
This is the head we need. What do you need? What support do you need to be part of this?
Right.
Because we aren't all whole. Everybody is going through some personal challenge, and we have to be supportive of our people,
right?
So we could work together.
Let's talk about another thing that you're involved in. You're doing a variety of things. And one thing that you mentioned to me is that you're an author of a book. Tell us about the book that you've written.
That I'm so proud of. It's The Boy Who Loves Plants. The boy is actually me. But, and I'm really especially too proud of the illustration. It was illustrated by our own local artist, Siobhan Selim Miles,
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It really captured the essence of what I wanted. I had the script written and I can't draw, but I have an imagination of exactly what I wanted to see. And this artist was able to bring it to life. And it's really about discovering or understanding that everything we have around in our environment has a value. Entrepreneurial, educational, and it's a boy who just loves plants and flowers, and he discovers that his favorite flower has so much value and uses in his generationally in his community, and then he takes it to school for show and tell and realizes that scientifically it has great value, and he learns and he teaches his young people. And then he learned that he can make juices and conditioners and all type of things. And now he's going home wondering, thinking, well, what else? What else can I do with the many plants and resources in my environment?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, as young people, we need to be thinking.
That's called The Boy Who Loves Plants.
Mm-hmm.
Where can this book be purchased?
Well, it's currently on Amazon.
Okay.
It's sold out at the moment, but
Uh-huh.
it should be restocked shortly. And then it will be sold out again.
Okay.
We got to put it, what they say, you have to put the positive vibes out in the environment,
Well,
know.
no, very good.
So that's the expectation. And I hope it to be a series,
Mhm.
and I hope the community will be able to read more about Benji's new adventures as he continues to explore his tropical environment.
All right. It's a children's book, so be warned of that. But the
Yeah.
color is absolutely gorgeous.
And
It's
we're all
beautiful.
children at heart.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Indeed, we are. So we talked about the organizations that you work with, why working with grants is a very challenging, enterprise,
Mhm.
but at the same time, very necessary if you want to at least, move the ball, so to
Yes.
speak.
Mhm.
The need for building our soft skills
Yes.
and training young people to get our soft skills going. As I said before, the best way for somebody to learn more about, let's say, the farm force, how do they go about getting information about that?
Well, we do have a website.
Mm-hmm.
We do, currently the program is closed in that we have a group, it was a grant. So they are already funded from October to October.
Okay.
They can reach me through viwiaasuccess@gmail.com
Okay.
and email me if they have an inquiry to have the group come out and assist them. And we would send one person, the manager, out to look at the scope of the project they define and come up with whatever skills we need to prepare them with in advance. And so when they come out there, they could be effective and learn and gain and grow from there.
Excellent. Well, you are certainly continuing the teaching realm and
Yes.
very effective in that regard. I'd like to thank you so much for taking the time to educate us today on your work, on the importance of agriculture. Now more than ever, it's needed.
Yes.
Folks, thank you so much to listening to our program. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for having me. Take care.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of WTJX, its board, staff, or underwriters.